All right, we're going to go ahead and start. I do know, yes. All right. Hello. I think audio is good. Yes, audio is good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Snowbirds meeting room. It has been, I think, over a month that me and Zook has been here, but me and Zook are back.
And, something like that,
yeah. So Shadow over here has been holding the fort while we were gone. We were taking a break. I hope everybody's doing good. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
We're going to talk about a lot of things. I was worried we weren't going to have really much to talk about for this episode. I was like, damn, we're about to do a podcast. There's nothing really going on. We're just going to end up talking about drama. But a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. So, yeah, we're going to talk about
48.
that. 48 hours, okay. But first off, how's everybody doing, and what's everybody been up to in the past month or so?
Well, still been going strong on the streams. Made some videos, made some shorts. The Snowbirds took out the Idris twice and salvaged it twice. that was interesting.
That's fun, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. I was donated a A1.
Damn, third ship.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Shadow.
So now I have all 3 of the Spirit series and waiting for them to come. I'm at 410 subscribers on my main channel, and pushing for 500. And we held a Snowbirds race. Gave away a cutter starter pack, and the person that it was given to donated it to a friend of his, and we were able to get him in the game. So yeah, it's been interesting and busy.
And with all of that, everybody in the chat say happy birthday, Shadow Spectre 11. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
What's up, Box Swapper? Hey, XD Gamer. Hey, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy trip around the sun. Right.
No, but so the things that I've been doing, basically, I haven't really been playing Star Citizen that much, as some people may have noticed, but basically that's just because Baldur's Gate came out. A lot of people in my group were like a sort of a role play org, and when a role play game that quality comes out, we just
dude,
it sucks us in. Like almost every one of us is just like neck deep in Baldur's Gate right now. Wonderful game.
Here's the thing though. Like I'm not a fan of D&D at all, or any of the past Baldur's Gate games, but I've heard so many good things about it, and that it's a big game changer within like the gaming industry and stuff. That I'm considering getting in there. You know,
well, here's the thing.
And buying it.
Here's the thing. Like I don't want to get too far into this because this is a Star Citizen podcast. But essentially, it's a game development studio that, instead of getting bought out years and years ago, decided to go crowdfunding, right? Decided to make the games for the fans. Has released multiple games since then that just were absolutely knocking it out of the park. They were niche games, but they were absolutely knocked it out of the park. You had games where you would buy it for your friends, and I bought multiple copies of Divinity for other people. Just absolutely quality games. It's just heads and tails above everyone else in the genre. And then because of that, they got access to Baldur's Gate, and then they did it again. They knocked it out of the park all over again. And they again said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to work with the community. We're just going to be crowdfunded. We're essentially going to get an IP because of the work we had before. they were being approached by Microsoft to get bought out, and they said no, we're not doing that. They refused to monetize the game as far as like loot boxes and stuff like every bit of the BS of the last 10 to 15 years of like in the game industry has
Been
taken over.
avoided.
They basically said not only have they just avoided it, they've put it into their marketing material and patch notes and said we are not going to do this. We refuse to do this, and basically gave a big middle finger to the rest of the gaming community. I mean, it's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, just you know, a company like that actually taking all the right steps. They should. It makes me want to play a game that I don't even like. Like I will play it all the way through.
I played Baldur's Gate years ago, and I loved it. And Nvidia put out a new update just for that and Cyberpunk 2077, the new expansion.
Oh, that's normal for them though. Whenever a
Yeah.
big new game comes out, they'll put out a update
Yeah.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good though. That's good. Yeah, I've been wanting to play everything else other than Star Citizen. I think I got frustrated. So, yeah, I definitely took a much needed break. I've been playing a lot of Ready or Not and Sons of the Forest lately, and 6 Days in Fallujah. So,
You know what we should do, Void? We should
that?
get a live stream thing on Baldur's Gate. I'll help you out with it.
Sure, we could do that.
We should do that.
Yeah. Would you be interested in live streaming at all?
Sure, I wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
We can get you set up.
It's interesting, trust me.
Yeah, it's a lot of troubleshooting at first.
Yeah, when two people are streaming at the same time.
Well, what's really cool is they
in the same one. 'Cause
Well,
you gotta have
we'll
both
talk about
cameras
it.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more later. I don't want to get when you get back to Star Citizen anyhow.
Yeah. Me and Whole Armor have been streaming a lot, doing a lot of things. But yeah, now we're back, and CitizenCon is around the corner, so that's going to be interesting. We have a whole lot of stuff to talk about with 320, and we have some leaks to talk about, and we also have a Q&A that took place in one of the Chinese bar citizens. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah, all this stuff. Now, all the leaks and the Q&A and everything like that, I would just take it all with a grain of salt, you know, because it's all coming from the leaks pipeline Discord thing, and you know they don't always get everything right, you know, and we don't know how accurate a lot of it is. What's up, Shadow or Whole Armor? I don't know. Hey, what's up, Everett? It's good to see you guys. But yeah, so what do you guys want to talk about first? Should we talk about 320?
I think so.
We got the patch notes up here.
Or do you want to briefly go over the drama real quick? Get it out of the way.
Yeah, actually, before we get into the patch notes, because it does involve waves 1 and 2, we'll talk about the new drama between the new PTU phases here. So I have them up on the screen. I hope you guys could see that. But I don't have. I actually don't. I should have brought up the post they actually made describing it. But I don't have that up. If you guys bring it up, you're more than welcome to read it. But we have 5 waves now. Right now, it's wave 1 and 2 in the PTU for 320. But right here, I'll kind of just go over the little. You can see right here. Eva Cadi as normal will be the first one. You have Group 1, which is Legatus, concierge backers, and subscribers. Top active players rated by hours in previous 2 major patch cycles. Then Wave 2, Praetorian, concierge backers, and also the second most active players. Then Wave 3 is Wing Commander, Space Marshal, and Grand Admiral concierge backers. And then third most active players. And then Group 4, High Admiral, Concierge, and fourth most active players. I'm stumbling on my words pretty bad.
You got it. You got it.
All backers with an active game package after that. Wave 5. So yeah. I have a very simple mind about this. That, you know, I guess I don't care about it as much as a lot of others do. But yeah, let's hear you guys' thoughts on it. If one of you guys have the thread open of how they worded it, you're welcome to share.
Well, I'll go ahead and start into this because at the end of the day, for me, I don't want to go too deep into this because it's a little old news. But the fact that there was drama over this was absolutely astounding to me. I thought it was absolutely crazy.
I knew it was going to happen.
Content. We're just saying content creators are freaking out about this. Even non-traditional, SC creators like Angry Joe is commenting on this. I'm like, well, first of all, if you look at the changes they made are obviously set up in such a way where you're trying to get people who have a stake in the game, whether it's playtime, whether it's money, whether it's whatever it is, who has an active stake going forward on a day-to-day basis to come in there and play the game, not just hop in there and look, but play the game. And on top of that, there weren't anybody who was paying money and not in, who was paying money and also, sorry, there's nobody who was paying money and not in, who is now paying money who is now in, right? Backers, subscribers were already in wave 1. The only people who were lost access is if you donated a lot of money and either stopped donating money via subscribers or haven't been playing, right? And on top of that, they added a way for people who have paid $45 who are not subscribers. They added a way for those people to get into wave 1, right? So it is evidently clear that they're looking to get actual testers, looking to get actual people, and people who are freaking out about like, oh, we don't want to be a tier tester, we this, that, and the other. Like, I don't care. Like, just straight up, I don't care. The PTU's purpose is for testing, and if you're not testing and giving feedback, wait a few weeks. You'll get it when it goes live. And if you can't get on board with that, don't participate with that. Simple as that.
I feel like it's just such a small thing to get upset about,
It is.
It really isn't. I don't think it's worth it, And the whole purpose behind them making the changes is so they can get more of the people that matter in the right waves that they want. And
it was obvious before they made that post about that too.
And the thing about it is, no matter what you think of it, they're going to have multiple different waves happening. Like with this one here, this patch that just came out with 320 and PTU, it's wave 1 and 2 at the same time. And then, if they want to, they could do 3 and 4 like today. Or even they said if they wanted to have it an hour after they release it to 1 and 2, they could do that. Like, they have more flexibility with being able to just kind of be a little bit more, just getting what they need out there. My dogs are barking. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's just more flexible for them. Shadow, what do you think about it?
When the announcement first came out, a lot of people were really, really PO'd about it. But with me being a subscriber, and I would be in the fourth group if I wasn't a subscriber. So it is what it is, and it's just the way that it was worded. It sounded like a major money grab, but it wasn't. And then when somebody came in, a dev came and explained it better, then it calmed down. But that first announcement was, everybody freaked out. But
Shadow, I think you'd be in wave 1 or 2 because
Yeah,
you're
with your
pretty
play
active,
hours.
man. Like
Yeah.
you
well,
have some pretty extensive play hours.
yeah. I mean, I do. I do. I would have been in wave 1, wave 2.
You should unsubscribe and test that.
Yeah, I
No.
might even do that. Oh, you know what?
No.
Something interesting happened to me with this PTU access actually recently, and I did a little testing of my own. So I had an issue, right? So remember Shadow when I came into your Discord and I was asking you guys like, "Hey, are you guys having any issues getting into PTU when you should have access?"
Yeah.
And pretty much everybody said that they were good. Well, I wasn't. I waited, I think, a couple hours later. And Whole Armor knows in the chat. He was there. I was complaining about it a little bit. Yeah, I've always been a subscriber, even from, I think, the earliest days. And then I think if I'm not a subscriber, I think I would probably be wave 3. Yeah, I'd be wave 3 because I don't play much. But anyways, I didn't have access, but I'm a subscriber, so I was like, okay, well, I should have access to wave 1. And so what I did was I went on the RSI website and I unsubscribed, and then I resubscribed, and I instantly got access. So I
Did you
canceled
really?
it. Yeah, so I ended up paying another $20 to resubscribe just to get the access, because I don't know if it would have popped up eventually. I'm sure maybe it would, but whatever system that's in charge of going in and verifying who is a part of what wave and who gets access, I feel like that check didn't really happen for me until I resubscribed. So
Interesting.
A lot of people. There was a big thing going on. There were a lot of people that were subscribed for a long time and hadn't paid.
mhm.
They did a purge, and
You said that hasn't
oh,
paid?
that yeah, they were still getting subscriber stuff, and they
Oh,
had
really?
canceled. Yeah, they
Mm.
had canceled, and there was a massive purge, and then people who had to resubscribe and stuff like that started getting their ship of the month and everything like that. So yeah, they cleaned out the database. I'm guessing, and a lot of people that had canceled were still getting stuff, and then all of a sudden they stopped getting getting the subscriber
Mm-hmm.
things. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought it's nothing that I was really, too upset about. But I thought that was an interesting thing. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so yeah, the PT stuff, the drama. Yeah, I think it's just to get more of the right people where they need it to be, and it's in a step of the right direction when it comes to the PTU access. It used to be worse, so yeah, I myself can't really complain too much about it. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic here. We got the 320 patch notes here. So other than it being wave 1 and 2, we got a large list of issues. How's you guys' performance been?
Not the greatest in the world.
First night, it was really rough. I played yesterday. I had 130K when we were trying to do some stuff with the um, whole C, and it crapped out on us. I'm going back in again today and doing some AC, and then I'm gonna try the cargo thing again. But there is it's very rough, and everybody knows that on first wave it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
You should expect that. If you expect it to be totally polished when it comes out, you're in euphoria. You
AC was
know,
definitely rough.
Delusion is probably the more proper term there.
yeah, delusional. Okay, but I'll tell you what, I jumped into AC just to see what the menus offered, and it was phenomenal. But I'm gonna say this: the first time I go in there, I pick a ship, and I get put in the Argo cargo. It was so funny, but other
I've
than
had that
that,
happen to me. I've
it
had that
was.
happen to me a couple times.
But I went into tank battle just to see how the tank battle worked. That was fun.
It's fun, but they need to fix their damn ground vehicles, man. My
Still,
God.
still, still, they bounce all over the place, but
The
it was
fact
fun.
the fact that a tiny pebble stops the tank in its tracks is the funniest, or a little branch. It's crazy to me.
Right.
It's so infuriating. So this is why I really was hoping we would get the spawn system in for the turrets and stuff like that. If they would just let you have the ability to have a driver, someone just focusing on driving, and then also to have your gunner,
Mhm.
it would help out so much in the tank battle.
Well, and this is where they said that we couldn't do the the crewing yet. They're still working on that aspect
Yeah, I
because
wasn't
it was
quite ready.
yeah, and a lot of people that's what they were looking for. And unfortunately it didn't make it, but it's still fun to get in there. It's still fun. There's no
It
private
was great.
lobbies just yet.
I played that the most. The
Hmm.
the tank battle. One of my favorite games from the Nintendo 64 was, I think it was called Battle Tanks. I don't
Hmm.
know if anybody has played that before, but
Oh
I
yeah.
I was obsessed with that as a kid. And it's literally it's just like a tank royale thing.
Hmm.
Pick up a bunch of power ups, kill your friends, kill strangers. Super fun, and that's what it reminded me of. And yeah, I couldn't stop playing it, regardless of how unpolished it is. Um, but all right. Let's see. New features,
Well,
locations. Go ahead.
hang on real quick. The PU. What really one thing that do want to mention because it kind of concerns me
Okay.
is the bug from the 318 and 319 patch series, where your uh, pitch controls just
Mm-hmm.
stop working randomly, and the
Yeah.
only way to fix it is to leave the game and come back in.
Yeah.
That's seeming to happen more frequently now,
Oh, interesting.
in the PTU. That kind of concerns me. Hopefully, if it's happening more frequently, they can figure out why it's happening.
I'll
You
be
know,
right back. I got
maybe.
to go
Mm-hmm.
to the head real quick.
But that it does concern me greatly why that it's happening so frequently. But wave one, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it has a lot of time in the PTU before it comes to the PU. So
And then they have plenty of time. They have almost an entire month.
yeah.
So
And then depending on what happens at CitizenCon, we might not be playing Arena Commander for a while. um, let's see. All right. So what do you think about the Seraphim Station? I got to take a look at it a little bit.
I haven't been to it.
It's
I, I can't get a 30. I can't get
underwhelming.
in the game long enough without a 30K to go from New Babbage to
Yeah.
Port Trezler. So I haven't made it to Crusader yet.
That's the only reason why I haven't tried. I really wanted to get in there and try hauling some stuff with the whole sea and seeing what the fuss was about with the commodities and stuff like that. Me and Whole Armor watched a little bit of Jax Axton do some commodity trades in the whole sea, and it looks like you lose money with the 3 or 4 commodities that you can trade with it. I think the least amount of money that you lose trading in the whole C is scrap. And then even then, I heard it's hard to do anything with that. So
Yeah, their demand prices, like there are routes where you can make money, but it's so little, it's almost not even worth it.
yeah,
And then that goes back to like I said a few months ago. One of the things they need to have for the whole C to be a viable ship in the game is they need to have that quanta background sim. They
yeah,
need to have money making that's not just that. Otherwise, it's just going to be basically outmined. Just very similar to how Titanium was on, Laranite was on Hurston, a while back, or Gold is now. It's just going to be, there might be one or two trade routes. It's going to be heavily watched, heavily monitored, and those people who even, a lot of people won't even do it anyways because there's not enough demand or supply on either side
hmm
to make it worthwhile. It's. I hope this isn't the economy that's going to be in the 3.20 live. Um,
you're hoping it'll change a little bit.
Disappointing.
Yeah,
Again, I haven't participated in that economy yet because I can't get the game to last long
it
enough to do it. But
it is disappointing that
yeah,
they haven't even changed much at all to help the whole C be a temporary viable thing to some degree. You
Agreed.
know, at least make just even the tiniest little bit of sense. You know, like CIG are all for they've said before that they're all for temporary changes, you know, to get things to work. And I don't know why they haven't done that with the whole C yet, and the commodity stuff that we have so far. So it's weird. I don't get it. Um, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Like you said, we still have another month, you know, of PTU stuff. So, but I mean, along with the whole C, what I found to be really cool is that the various sized boxes you can see down here that it supports
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 4, 8, all the way up to 32
yep.
SEUs, and I think that's magnificent. I think that's better than we thought. You know, even 1 SEU containers. That's crazy.
Well, the thing is, too, I did see some people where they were actually able to get the cargo. Jack Axton was able to do it the first night.
Yeah,
It looked beautiful.
I'm sure.
Saw
I'm sure it
saw
looked
one
beautiful.
from it did. I saw a video with Board Gamer. He was able to get it done. So I'm still working on it, uh, so I can get it and see what it looks like and see how the system works.
I
And
I bet it also looks beautiful when it gets pirated.
I'm not even going to touch that. But
Imagine having a
anyway,
full whole C getting pirated, man.
yeah. But the thing is, Boxwalker, they will, if somebody is in the grid where you're trying to do it, um, it
It is
will
a parking
stop.
violation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it will stop the transfer.
Only one ship is allowed in that spot at a time. So even if you have like
That's right.
multiple whole Cs, right? Only one whole C is allowed to be in there at a time.
And
So
there's only
Yeah.
one spot.
everyone else, at least as far as I could tell, yeah.
Oh
So
no,
so
there's multiples.
I was gonna
There's
say because there's gonna
multiple.
be
Okay.
multiple people just waiting.
Yesterday there
How
was
many are
two.
there? I
There
only
was
saw
two.
one.
Well, there was two whole C's yesterday in the stream that we were doing, and one was being flown by another pilot, and he was able to get a grid and be able to go in, and then we went into a grid as well. So there are multiples.
Okay. Well, even so, only one ship is allowed to be in any one grid at any given time. So that works. Good to hear there's more than one, though.
Have you guys tried the new mission here, the illegal salvage cover up mission?
Not yet,
And,
because you have to buy. If you don't have a vulture, you have to buy one, and you can buy it in 320.
Oh, you can
It
buy it
is
now.
Yeah, it is available in game.
That's good. Do we know where we can buy it?
Um, New Deal, I believe.
New deal.
I haven't been to quite a few places yet. I'm still exploring, but I'm going to check that out today and
Um,
make sure
I'm assuming that we can rent it too, right?
that I don't know.
That'd be pretty
Uh,
messed up if they don't allow you to rent it yet.
uh, Possibly at a station. Like I said, I'm still exploring. I have not
Hmm.
done a whole lot in it yet because I've been trying to get the whole sea set up, but I'm going to be doing some bouncing around and see.
All right, moving on. So
Hey, hey, Super Shade, what's up, man?
we have Rastar update underground facilities. I don't even know why they showed this off in the ISC because it was literally it's literally like it's the same locations. We could just put a light post over on the left now instead of the right.
You can build them quicker.
Yeah, and quicker. I mean, that's great. It's great. Like that's cool. It's an update to some of the background tech, but it's like I don't think we really needed to see that.
I plan on doing a bunker just to see what is changed sometimes.
We have the wheeled vehicle handling improvements. I haven't really come across this yet. I did some of the arena commander. I've did the take battle, but I didn't really like notice anything crazy as far as like the tank. But I don't know if the tank is even a part of this because I know it's only certain ones, I believe, certain vehicles.
Yeah, I don't know.
Says updates and improvements to current ground vehicle movement parameters, allowing for more robust tuning and identity between various ground vehicles. So I don't even know if that actually improves on the actual handling for some of them, other than just making it seem like it's a bit different than the rest. But yeah, if anybody notices a change, let us know because I'm hoping this fixes some stuff. I don't know. I don't know why they can't just they can't just give us a speed limiter. I think that's all I really want is a speed limiter. We got AI ship difficulty rebalance. So they took the pool of ships that was available before and they've just added. I think they've added all the ships to it now. With this new change, we have included every ship available to QT into the mix for both criminals and civilians. So this is good. We have more variety. They said except for ships that don't make any sense, like the Cutlass Blue. But I mean, you would think a pirate would use a Cutlass Blue.
I'll say I don't like get that reasoning because almost every single time you're at SMO 18 and there's people pirating gold, what are they using? They're using a Cutty Blue.
There are people in real life that impersonate cops all the time and pull people over. So, yeah, I mean, for their own nefarious reasons.
I mean, I get the reasoning behind it, but I was like, that's clumsy. But that's a small point.
It's ships have been divided into difficulty bands, which have mainly been derived from large data sets based on PvP analytics. Finally, we have also made a new ship difficulty band of very hard, which is now reflected in the very hard bounty assassination missions. Bounty and assassination missions. So, that's good. I don't know. I haven't experienced it, so I'm not sure yet. Like you said,
I wonder if
Zook,
that means
it's hard to get in the game because of the 30 case, but
I wonder if that means it's going to be something above ERTs. Like, are they lowering the difficulty bands where a bit, a little bit? Or are they making something like VERTs or something? It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to test anything right now. You have to be really persistent. We have now. This is what I was really excited about. I haven't tried this at all though. Vaulting and mantling air ledge grab improvements. So this is like a Squadron 42 thing that came over, and I've heard good things about it. Salty Mike said that you can actually get in through the side of the Cutlass now. You know how big that is? You know how major that is?
That's.
Are you serious?
If your ramp doesn't work, you could actually get in through your airlock now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
It's pretty insane. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've come up to that situation where I can't get in my ship because of the ramp being broken. And if only they would let us get through the side of the ship.
I wonder if you can get into the 300 series now with a lot ladder.
Gonna have to pull out a lot of ships and give it a try, man.
The door
That's
has
cool.
to be open. You got to open the door.
Mining stability and polish.
Now this is something I have to test because in 319 the rock would overheat so quickly that it would blow it out and you can't use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you complaining about that.
No, I'm not complaining, but it is what it is.
I think a lot of that was caused by desync, actually.
No.
That's the thing. We don't know, right? We don't know if it's like something that's supposed to happen or if it's a bug.
You can upgrade the rock with better coolers and things like that if you're going to Aberdeen or something. And if you're within an area where there's like multiple rocks mining at the same time and somebody blows up a rock, your ship would be your vehicle would be damaged. And there was it to me it wasn't a desync issue, but who knows I'm just gonna try it out and see if it's better.
For Arena Commander, they updated the entire front end and lobby system. They've also rewritten the Arena Commander's spawning and loadout modules that was legacy to modern standards, which is good. There's a new rewards for anybody. This is something I didn't really think that they would do for the other modes, but that's good to see. So you have.
So, I want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Are they giving out these rewards during PTU?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Alongside this content drop is several new rewards. Rewards can only be obtained in online matches once 320 goes into live environment.
There we go.
I did complete. So we have the new Pirate Aggressor complete Pirate Swarm, Vandal Aggressor, reach wave 25 of Endless Vandal Swarm, Master of Arms, win a match of Gun Rush, Tank Commander, win a match of any tank game mode, Experimental Tester, finish any experimental mode. I have played all the way through the new Vandal Swarm. 25 waves does not seem. So they don't keep track of the waves anymore. They just throw enemies at you, and it feels like I was only in there for maybe 20 minutes, and
wow.
It said I completed it, but I wasn't sure if I actually completed it or not, and it felt a lot easier than it was before.
So there was no UI saying your own wave, whatever?
No. They just say, you just get a indication that more enemies have come, and that's about it. So they don't tell you what wave you're at. So when I was very confused by the time it was over and it said I won, I was like, okay. So there was about 50 enemies by the end of it that it said I killed. So I think there's only, depends on how fast you are at killing them. they were very, like I said, they were very easy to kill. Yeah. Other than that, that's good though. I'm glad that they have these other. I mean, it's only Spectrum badges though, so it's nothing too crazy. But I like collecting them.
Well, it's still going to give you the option to, after you complete it, you're still going to get the uh, Pirate Gladius and the Pirate Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
you're still
too.
going to be able to unlock
Well,
those.
I'm
get the
hoping they
ability
do
to
more
buy
of
them.
that.
Yeah, to buy them.
I'm hoping they offer more of a variety too. You know, maybe some other ships, like pirate versions of those ships.
Well, to be honest, with the Vandu Aggressor, I would like to see more opportunity to get the glaive than just,
That's not a
a
thing
quick
still.
limited thing. It's there, but it disappeared.
Mm.
So I don't know.
They could do, yeah, they could do it again. And it
Mhm.
doesn't even have to be the glaive; it could be something else.
Yeah, it could be the blade or any of them. I
Um,
don't know.
I think it'd be cool too for like the tank commander one, if they let have either the Nova, or maybe even the upcoming Storm in like a exclusive paint or something.
Mm-hmm.
Have that available.
Right.
All right. Experimental modes. We've already talked about that a little bit. Yeah. So gun rush, tank royale, team tank battle, single weapon elimination, two fury, two furious. That one I think is hilarious. The duel between the two furies. And then master modes in different things. I was so excited to get in there for master modes, and then I realized that for this patch they don't have pips, and so I was having a hell of a time trying to even shoot anything down. So
Well, I think that goes back into the engineering piece. Like, I think it's supposed to be doing that before you launch,
Mhm.
before you take off. So you don't manage that on the fly anymore. Prep that if you want to before you go, and then
What are you talking
I
about?
think that's the goal.
Prep what?
Well, like you're talking about the pips, the power to engine, shields, and everything.
No, there's no HUD. There's just no
I
HUD.
misunderstood you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like there's just nothing there. It's not
Interesting.
like, yeah, it's supposed to be there. So it's not like it's not like they're alluding to something with engineering or anything like that. It's just a bug. So they said they weren't going to be able to fix it until the next patch. Or next PTU patch, sorry, not like 3.21 or something.
Yeah.
4.0. That'd be pretty insane.
Hopefully before Wave 3.
Have you guys got a chance to? I mean, Zook, I don't think you've had the chance, but Shadow, have you tried it at all?
Master modes?
Yeah.
Yes. It's interesting, and I enjoyed it. Remember, I was not like, I got to get my hands on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a great time
So
learning. You're relearning how to fly. You are.
yeah, my brain was confused when doing it. Like as far as your ship movements and everything like that, it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve to try to update your brain on it. It wasn't bad though. I enjoyed it still. It was still fun moving around and maneuvering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Switching from your combat mode to navigation mode, I did count it out. It looks like it's 7 seconds for between switching for the power to update to different systems.
Long time.
It sounds like a long time, but in the moment, it felt pretty fast. And
Well, if you're not in a fight,
you have
it's probably going
instant.
to feel fast.
So you have instant when you switch over from, let's say, from nav mode to combat mode, the moment you switch, even while during those 7 seconds, you have instant access to your weapons. But
Yes.
I think I'm not entirely sure. It seemed like the fire rate starts off slow, and it slowly starts to increase as I could be
Your
wrong on that.
capacity-
That's just
Your
something that
capacitors have to build up.
yeah,
Yeah.
as the power is like being brought up to your system, to your weapon systems, it's
Well,
it's like it's
they've
catching
said in
up.
the past. They said in the past, and if you could confirm this, this would be nice. That if when you switch from like nav mode to combat mode, like your stuff will start coming online, your shields will charge, and they
Yeah.
won't be affected by fire. They won't stop charging because they're being fired upon.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're dumping energy into the capacitors that are actively using your system. So it's being brought back up as soon as possible, regardless of what's happening to you.
Yeah.
But my point is 7 seconds. Let's say you go to nav mode. Largely, your shield's dropping immediately, right?
Yeah.
So 7 seconds. Let's say I'm in a ship with ballistics. What can I do to a small fighter ship in 7 seconds? Right. So a lot of these combat situations, um, those 7 seconds, when you're just flying around, won't feel like much, but in a combat situation, will feel like eternity.
Depending on how stressful your situation is, yeah, for sure. And that's that. Yeah, I haven't been able to test it very much. I got in there a little bit and kind of just got a basic overview of like, oh, this is interesting. But yeah, like I was saying, the fact that there wasn't really like a HUD or anything like that, I didn't really like spend too much time into it. But I thought it definitely seems like no matter what situation you're in, they still provided a way to where you still have some sort of option to either fight back or run away and still have access to either your weapon systems or be able to speed up fairly quickly regardless of the situation. But yeah, that we still have to go through those different situations and try it out.
I wonder if that 7 seconds will be different per ship or per like size of ship. Like if that 7 seconds will be like increased on like C2 or something. I haven't heard anyone say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I say, I just touched it for a hot minute just to see what it was like. And I've got to go back in there and do some more, real flight with it to get more of a feel of it. But from what I've encountered so far, I enjoyed it.
So it says for master modes, I'm not going to get into it too much just because my brain still doesn't know what to think about it or any of this other stuff with master modes. I don't really want to be like misleading or anything like that. But
Right.
I'll just read what they have here. So this is aiming version 2, new gimbal behaviors, new aiming UI for pips, auto gimbal crosshairs, targeting version 2, new targeting behaviors with new keybinds, auto targeting brackets, flight tuning, and a newly updated UI that comes with that. Speed is now limited when in SCM mode.
And you can definitely tell.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're I don't think you go past 3. I don't think, well, at least with the Gladius you don't go over 300. Use of Afterburner can push slightly beyond SCM speed as long as players have boost capacitor with greater push in the forward vector. I've noticed that. New nav mode that disables weapons and shields but gives access to higher top speed. Swapping between modes has a spool up period. So that's that 7 seconds I was talking about. Gladius has updated ship tunings to go with this mode. Weapon capacitor pool is increased in baseline, but regen is less impacted by priority triangle. And that's important, I think. Regen is less impacted by priority triangle. I think when it comes to the weapon capacitor pool that they're talking about, it seems like that's a good change.
We got a question from Everett. It's in the PTU, Everett. You can turn it on or off in your options.
What'd he say? What'd he ask?
Master modes, options.
Is there a button for master modes? Oh, well,
yeah.
Depends on what he means by that. There's a mode in Arena Commander that you can go into, and then in there, if you're asking what the physical button is for master modes, it's
B.
It's B. Yeah, you still can spool up if you hold B, but to switch modes, you just tap B. Ammo for the Mantis is higher. Old gimbal system of weapon size going down 1 to accommodate gimbals has been replaced with a flat 20% reduction in fire rate on the same weapons, allowing fixed and gimbal on size 3 for the Gladius. Targeting bracket has been updated, and central HUD symbology for targeting has changed, including bore sight, orientation arrow, and gimbal designation and pips. Yep, and like I said, this stuff wasn't working for me, the HUD. So I don't think it's working for anybody.
No. I did not have, when I was flying master mode, I did not have a HUD. All I had was when it switched over and things like that, just to try it out and get a feel for it. And it was fun. It was fun to enjoy. I want to try it down in atmosphere.
Yeah.
See what it's like.
Yeah, I do too. And that's where this comes in. So pitch and yaw cannot be combined anymore. So yeah, you have to really pay attention when you're flying now. Cause
going on the hunt and pyro whole armor. Yeah.
Boost and regen were adjusted. Gladius agility was also increased. Okay.
Again, this is all master modes as well. So
yeah, this is all master modes. All right, so we've already talked about that. Gunnery changes. New aiming system is enabled. Combined fixed assist was removed. Fixed assist per gun was added. Auto gimbal mode, instead of keeping the target in an 8-degree cone, you only need to keep the target roughly around your aim point, and your gimbals will track. I have tried this out, and it is a lot more, it's a lot easier to keep on track now. When auto gimbals are not tracking, they will act like manual gimbals. Fixed mode, there is 1 pip per projectile speed group. Manual gimbal mode now also has fixed assist for each gun. Yeah. Added option, show precision lines in auto gimbal display. Drastically increased ballistic ammo.
I wonder if they, real quick, one about the manual mode, fixed mode, there's only 1 pip per projectile speed group. I wonder if there's a way of specifying, like, this speed group is a 700 meters per second. This speed group is the 1400.
Yeah, I don't know. See, this, like, the fact that we can't even see this, you know, you can't really see what they're talking about. Yeah. So we'll have to wait until the next patch to really, like, deep dive into master modes. But I plan on really getting into it and trying to understand it, because it's frustrating reading this, and like my brain doesn't work when I'm reading this. I'm trying to equate it to what I've experienced so far. So
the thing is, too, we're still in the first part of the PTU with this, and the next one should give us more.
Yeah,
They
that's what I
just
was
put it
saying.
out there. Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. They with this, we're just getting a taste. And this next patch, hopefully, it will be good to go up there. So we'll
I
see.
agree. Yeah, we'll have to wait. We don't know when the next one is happening for the PTU, but hopefully soon. They removed the old system for the gimbals, and now an S or size 3 gimbal will now hold a size 3 gun. So
That's the
that's
N-1 system.
yeah.
Yes, Soul Armor, I know.
So that's
Go
interesting.
ahead.
Custom weapon stats for the Gladius weaponry. Okay. Shield layout for the used Gladius is now front and back.
Oh, and just for everybody to understand, can we scroll up to the quick? Because it's not always perfect. Thank you. So right here, where it said removing the N-1 system,
Mm-hmm.
a size 3 gimbal will now hold a size 3 gun.
Yeah.
That's also what it's referring to when it comes up to when it talks about the 20% fire rate decrease. If you're using the same size gun, the same size gimbal, so a size 2 on a size 2, a size 1, a size 1, a size 2, and a size 3, so on. That's what I was talking about. If you match it, if you want to go down one, then you don't have that penalty.
Yes, that is correct.
So
Yeah.
they're talking about the same quasi thing, but they're not making it obvious there. I also make sure that was clear for everybody.
They have. I thought we talked about this before, didn't we? In a past
We
episode.
did, but we didn't know what the penalty was going to be.
Yeah.
We speculated, damage reduction, fire rate reduction, accuracy reduction, but we didn't know what the penalty was. Now they're telling us.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I like that yet. It makes sense to me. It makes sense, but that's just another thing we're gonna have to try out.
I like it. I mean, like Elite Dangerous had something similar,
Mm-hmm.
where if you could buy a gimbaled variant of a gun or a fixed version of a gun, and the gimbaled variant did a little bit less damage, uh, and but you gain accuracy for it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall, you need to have a penalty for having gimbal, and I think it's a pretty fair penalty there. You're not you're not overall decreasing each shot damage.
Mm-hmm.
You're just decreasing fire rate, which would also give you the benefit of potentially overheating.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like benefits to that people don't that really people underestimate. I think that will make some like neutron weapons or disruptor weapons that tend to overheat. That might make them more viable to use on a larger version of it. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And that kind of that being accompanied with the ballistic changes, it kind of goes hand in hand with that too. All right. Well, we're done with the patch notes. So we'll talk about the Q&A now that they had for the one of the bar citizens that they had out in China. So I'll read it off. The Q&A says that the first one, they're talking about possible CitizenCon in China, and I guess CIG, they want to try to fix some of the issues that would accompany that, to having the possibility of maybe having one in the future. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect from version 4.0? And they said now I don't know who is answering these questions there.
They're saying it's Chris Roberts.
Was it Chris Roberts, really?
That's what they said.
Which really damages the credibility of these answers.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to be in his own little head with everything. It says, we're holding back a lot of details about 4.0 till CitizenCon, since CitizenCon will mainly be focused on cool things in 4.0. as well as some other things. However, 4.0 will definitely include the first version of server meshing, as well as travel to other systems
That does sound like Chris Roberts.
and other things too. But I think Tyler and Jared will shoot me if I say too much. What? Why would Jared care about what he talks about?
Because he's the one that has to deal with the backlash when things aren't made and goals aren't achieved.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm telling you,
whatever
sounds
Chris
like
Roberts
that
says,
sounds like Chris.
whatever Chris Roberts says, Jared gets shot for. Okay. So that's interesting to hear. You know, take it all with a grain of salt. I don't know. We'll see.
Take it back 30%.
And this is where this is a part of where, you know, he says things and I don't think he really understands that people are going to read it to the T. And like when I read him saying server meshing as well as travel to other systems, we're only going to have Pyro at first. And that makes me think that there's going to be more than Pyro, but there's not.
Well, has anybody experienced where you're in a low pop server, right? And all of a sudden it changes from maybe like 25 while you're in game, 25 to over 100 in 319?
Not in
Now
319, no.
my frame rate's pretty much capped at 60. I'm not sure why.
Not your frame rate, the server population.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yes, I have. While I was in a low pop server of 25, right? I crossed into something, and next thing I know, I looked and I was in a server of over 100.
You think they got merged with another server, or do you think
They're saying it is that they've been testing it and it is active to a point.
Oh, so you're
I
saying
could
when you
believe
were
that.
quantuming, you were moved to another server during the quantum.
Exactly.
Now, why would they do that?
That's true.
Would they
Did
be
not
doing
tell
that
me.
in the live PU like that?
That's pretty ballsy on their part if that's the case.
Yeah.
If it did, I'm telling you, there's people in my org, okay, that have been playing as much as I have or a little bit less, have crossed over into another server from a 25 pop server to a 100 in a quantum jump. So they're saying that it is active and being tested.
Who is saying that?
There is somewhere in this thing with Chris Roberts saying and that there was server meshing is being tested.
Okay.
I don't know if it's being tested outside or
I would
inside.
but really doubt it's being tested on the outside, especially in a live environment. My money was on somebody's server just crashed, and people try to join a new server, and they got yours.
Well, that's highly possible too.
You need to be able.
But we don't know.
It needs to be.
Well, we don't know.
That's the thing. We don't know, and because I feel like that situation that situation could happen in a variety of different reasoning, other than server meshing as well. So, because them messing with server meshing on a live environment, like you said, that is pretty ballsy. I wouldn't put it past them though.
I would say that's balls being reckless.
It really depends. See, that's another thing we don't know. It really depends on the state of server meshing and where they're at with it.
I don't see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, that'd be amazing. Because if it's that stable, when they're that confident, but in a nice system, from a development standpoint, and if here's like when this ASUS do, like you don't test code, I environment, and like that's like a very successful settle, generally speaking. So like I really doubt that's happening, but that would be cool. I wouldn't mind being wrong on that.
Yeah, imagine at CitizenCon they're like, oh, by the way, server meshing's been in the game for a month now.
Ooh.
That would have been pretty crazy. My dogs are rushing me right now.
I'll put it this way: if they come out at CitizenCon and they say server meshing is already being tested on live servers, they say that.
Okay,
I will buy somebody in my order ship. Like cut it back a bigger.
Okay, here it is. It came from.
You gonna buy him a Rock DS?
No, I said cut it black or bigger.
Meshing has been active in testing for months, mostly focused on client crash handling, server crash fixes, and friendless issues. So it's been in testing. We don't know if it's been in live.
There's no way it's been in live. You can be.
We don't.
It's got to be internal testing.
We don't know.
We have to. We don't know the state of server meshing is though. If it's in a pretty complete state to the point where they don't have to worry about it too much, or they've tested it enough already, maybe it's a thing that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you and Payne would know more about that. All right, so that is it for the Q&A.
By the way, speaking of 4.0, it is still on track for end of year. Maybe not fully live, but PTU like other end of year patches with pyro and meshing. So we don't know.
Oh, did our ship just spring a leak?
That was from a leak. So I can't put. I'm taking that with a grain of salt.
Speaking of leaks,
to go along with that, because we are done with the Q&A, some of the other leaks, it says the PU team has been reduced so much that we have a single-digit teams of single developer disciplines doing the work of, at this point, the entirety of a level design team, for one example. Things are going to stand still outside of maintenance to heavily prioritize Squadron 42. It's going to get worse in this regard. This is me warning you to not count on anything PU related, apart from potentially a pyro content drop until the full release of Squadron 42 Episode 1.
That's what. And here's the thing: I was initially had a very negative reaction to that. It really made me upset. Like that's saying, "Oh, then we're not going to get 4.0. We're not going to get this year." And then they later on said what Shadow said earlier, that we're still on schedule for it, and that really basically means two things: either our server meshing is doing that good where they don't need a massive team, they just need basically maintenance and bug fixing, I guess you could say, or and what I'm kind of thinking that it is now, because it specifically said Squadron 42 Episode 1. Now we know there's like 30 chapters in Squadron 42 right now. That's what the goal is. You can see that on the roadmap. You can see that in what teams are working on what. I could see a very good possibility that they could take 5 to 10 levels, call it Episode 1, and then put it out this year for this holiday season, and announce that at Squadron 42, and then throw a lot of effort into the PU to get 4.0 up and running, and then that kind of matches in the previous leak that we had about a couple months ago, where they basically said that after Squadron 42 was complete, they were going to start working. Yeah, they were going to start working on Squadron 42 2. Now, what we thought at the time was that meant was like a sequel to the whole game. What that might be now that I've seen that and we have some more context assuming these leaks are legitimate, which is a big assumption here, so take that for what it's worth, that could be they're going to go right back into polishing Squadron 42 Episode 2,
So
which might be the next batch of 5 to 10 levels.
now, yeah. So I've heard so many different content creators kind of explain this in different ways.
I don't even touch that, man.
It does it does seem like Squadron 41 Chapter 1 is definitely going to be a certain amount of or Part 1 is going to be a certain amount of chapters, and then there's going to it's always been referred to as a sequel immediately after. So the wording they used was CIG will focus immediately on Squadron 42 after launch next year. And PU will increase in outsourcing work. So that kind of goes with the other thing that we just read, where the PU is going to slow down, and if they are focused, if they do immediately focus on Squadron 42 Part 2, and that's an actual sequel, I think it is kind of in line with what you were saying, Zook, where it might be like the next batch of like 10 chapters, because 30 something chapters or above that's a pretty crazy amount of chapters to have for one game. So, and I always thought that, I was like, how is Squadron 42 going to be that long? That's insane. So it would make sense that it is like a second and third maybe installment of the game.
Well, the game was always planned to be that many chapters like that. They've had that story piece worked out for the last decade, basically.
Right.
Whatever that story is, right? It's already been that way for a while, as far as I'm aware. And that was part of the thing of why it's taking so long. Well, because it's a massive game. It's an absolutely incredibly massive game.
And what does one chapter exactly entail? Like how long does a chapter go for? What is involved with just one of those chapters? We don't really know.
And I'm not really sure where I heard this. I could be remembering this wrong. My understanding was like an entire level was a single chapter. So basically, you'd have an entire playthrough level, which would be one chapter, and they were comparing the chapters, one chapter, to be an entire level on like Halo or a Call of Duty level. No, so it's not going to be like 3 hours in one chapter, right? But it might be a good 30-minute chunk of gameplay, depending upon how you blow through it, breeze through it, for a single chapter. And if they release 5 chapters in a single one, that could be a good 3 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
Right. And which would be very comparable to, here's the thing, that's very comparable to a lot of games that are being released right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if that's more, great. If it's less, I mean, I would be disappointed in that. But at the same time, if you had gotten Squadron 42 as a backer, right? If you got Squadron 42, then you'll get basically all 30 of whatever length they are, however many versions there are, episodes there are, right? You're probably gonna get them all. No more money required, right? And that's probably why they turned off the pledging for them, because they knew these leaks were likely about to come out, and that makes if that's the case, and these chapters are that long, and these things are going to happen that way. The gameplay for money deal, $45 for the single player campaign would be amazing, assuming it works.
These are the answers I'm hoping we get at CitizenCon this year.
Well, the leaks are lining up so good with that. Is the thing.
I would just like to see. I haven't been in long enough. I didn't even see the vertical slice until I went back and looked at it. Okay, that thing's almost 5 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
time
there's no
to.
point in going back that far. Anything they've showed that far, there's a good potential that a lot of
It's
that's completely different now.
Yeah, but when I first got involved, that's when I went back and looked. Last over a year ago. Now I want to see something. I just want to see something at CitizenCon.
We have 2 days, so that there has to be. There has to be.
Like here's the bottom line for me is at CitizenCon, if all they do is talk about Pyro, that's it. I will be incredibly upset.
They can't just talk about Pyro the entire
They
time.
can't. It's too late. Too many years in a row. It cannot be a Road to Pyro CitizenCon. It's an in-person event. People pay for boards, plane tickets, all that fun stuff. They have to do more than Pyro. I think they are, but I have to do more than Pyro this year.
Yes.
Along with that, it does say, a part of the leaks does say that Pyro is almost done, and we'll probably get a feature complete announcement at CitizenCon. So whatever that really entails. So yeah, all the leaks are showing that, not even just the leaks. It's the monthly reports that we've been getting for the past 6 months to a year on Squadron 42. All the rumors, everything have pointed to a very strong potential of something major with Squadron 42 as a release date happening, and having the release date being fairly soon, and then Pyro being completed and actually put out there in some capacity, along with server meshing and stuff like that. So if they I know along with that, go ahead.
Keep in mind, most games right before they're released, right, pushed out there, they go through what's called a crunch time to gold standard, where they are doing everyone's on board, everyone's finishing up their task, everyone's polishing their stuff, everyone's doing all of this final stuff to get this thing out the door and get it done because we're about to finalize it, right?
And
Every
we've been
game
seeing
development
that.
story, right? Every game development story that I've ever heard of, that the back end, you have developers talk about it after the fact, kind of thing. That's always been the case. Some companies have worse crunch times than others, but they've all have that crunch time where they're essentially going gold, right?
Right. You got a question.
This feels like that. This feels like Star Citizen for Squadron 42, at least episode 1, is doing that crunch time right now.
Yeah.
Where everybody's on board fixing and finalizing this stuff.
They've been telling us in the monthly reports.
Yeah.
So
we got a question. A little question. Will Pyro be a separate thing we can spawn in, or are we able to go from Stanton to Pyro with some sort of black hole? That is the original idea. But
so
if
can I answer this?
No. Go ahead.
That's not fun. So basically, XD Gamer, my understanding is right now there's no expectation of us initially spawning in Pyro. So you can't pick that as your home station initially, right?
It doesn't make sense to spawn in a pirate station or a pirate system.
Exactly. So you won't start off in Pyro,
especially as a new player.
If you fly to Pyro and fly and dock at a station, and you log out from while you're in Pyro, you would log back in the next day still at Pyro. Now, as far as the wormhole, the ish type of thing, the black hole, there is that's the jump point. They have a video not from last CitizenCon, but the CitizenCon before that, where they actually flew a Carrack through a early version of a jump point. So you can actually watch the CitizenCon presentation where they actually used a jump point from Stanton to Pyro. And essentially what a jump point is, there's a couple of different versions of it. At least what they're aiming for is they're aiming for at least 3 different sizes. One very very small, may not be stable, may not be very long living. Even they can be very temporary, and you could depending on what size can go through it. There's like medium-ish scale jump points
Yep.
that essentially are like larger ships can go through, but again, it may be temporary, maybe not long lived. And then you'll have larger scale jump points where they are almost permanent. They're basically just permanent jump points that humanity or other aliens, Bandu included, may have potentially put permanent stations, defenses around, maybe even trade stations next to, right?
Yep.
Refueling points to go through that basically have put technology to essentially enlarge it and stabilized the jump point. Again, it's been a long time since we've heard details about that. But yeah, essentially we're using jump points to go from system to system.
And that's, along with whatever information we get, if Pyro does come out this year or even early next year, whatever it is, they're going to have to tell us what the hell jump points, like all the information on jump points, because there's so much you could do with it. There's so much supposedly you would be able to do with them. And it goes into exploration gameplay too, is you're supposed to be able to find these like new jump points kind of out there in the verse and be able to sell that data or just take hold of it of yourself. And but yeah, I won't really go into that. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for jump points. But
So
go ahead.
If they just do a thing where you have a choice to jump between the two, that will be defeating the purpose of what it's supposed to be, if you get what I'm saying. Because
I don't follow you, Shannon. I'm sorry.
now, if they make it to the point where you have the persistent universe, but then you go in and you have a choice. Okay, you could start out in Stanton if you want, or when you create your character, you could start out in Pyro. So we don't know. Personally, start out in Stanton and travel. That's what I want to see.
They have expressed recently how they want to change missions and the fact that new players wouldn't have access to missions like pirate missions, right? Or some of the illegal missions. It doesn't make any sense for you to instantly have those come up into your mobiGlas, even just being a lawful player. And I feel like with that sentiment that would carry over to Pyro, to where they wouldn't want new players or lawful players to just be able to start off in Pyro. You would have to build up some sort of reputation with a faction to be able to be based over there somehow.
And they have, not to transfer, but they have expressed that they are wanting to make some systems being like it's very like high security starter systems, and they used the phrase starter systems before, right? So it was. I think it's pretty clear that starter systems like Stanton would be where you'd have an option to spawn at initially,
right?
And other more dangerous stations, like maybe in Banu Space or in Pyro, would not be one of those starter systems,
right?
Right, and so there's no way you could set your initial, or at least your initial home residence in Stanton. I think it would be cool if they gave you the option to change that once you traveled there, or maybe if you've worked up, as Joe said, a reputation with a particular gang or a criminal organization, that you could then transfer your home to a station in Pyro.
Yeah,
but I don't think you'd ever. I don't think you'd ever be able to start your game in Pyro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it would be defeating the purpose of the server meshing if they did it that way. You get what I'm saying? To be able to travel, where you could travel back and forth if once you get there, yeah, you go in, you're there, and then you spawn, and then you can go back. You know, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see when the menu comes up, it just says persistent universe, not Stanton, not a choice, Stanton or
Well,
Pyro. You
there's
know what I'm
supposed to be
saying?
other lawful systems as well.
Yeah, like Soul.
So we're like in like Terra. So
Yeah, Soul and Terra and Stanton. I think that
you
was one of the
know,
Hold
4 that was
on.
right
listed.
now, right now, we're probably gonna get Stanton, and then we're gonna have to travel to Pyro. But that's just a symptom of how things are right now. You know,
Yeah.
Unless they have Nix ready to go or any of the Squadron 42 systems ready to go to be put in right after Pyro or something like that, then we're gonna have to just deal with traveling to Pyro. But I think that's the exciting thing, right? Like, the fact that it's a reward to just get to Pyro, and then you're gonna have to survive it. I think that's exciting to me. You know, like every time I get in the game, I'm gonna want to plan extensively just to survive in Pyro and just to get there. You know, go through the jump point and get there with your friends. I think that's more exciting than just. It would take away the excitement to just spawn right in there. You know, like it doesn't feel like I'm really doing anything. It doesn't feel like I'm exploring. It doesn't feel like I'm traveling at all. So I like
But
the idea of having to get there
yeah,
somehow.
but another thing, and we've all said something about this before. When we get there better be something there for us to do.
For as
I mean,
long as
we've
they've been
already,
working on it, yeah.
yeah, we've seen them develop the tools. We've seen them develop the stuff. We've seen them develop stations of Pyro. We've seen the planets themselves. I fully believe, and I have no reason to think otherwise. Like I'm like almost 100. I'm like 99.9% sure that whenever they release Pyro, that Pyro will be just as populated and just as active as Stanton is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not from the player standpoint,
Right.
but at the very minimum, missions and activities to do.
There's supposed to be multiple stations, and Ruin Station itself is supposed to be absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So
I like I say, I just don't want to see something where, we get there, say somebody's taking cargo over there, there's got to be something to that. That's what we've all been saying, you know. We want we want a mission that goes from one system to the other.
well, they
And
do have. They said with Pyro, we're getting new cargo missions.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully there is something to that.
Yep.
Hopefully there will be reasons to have to go there and risk your life or your
Well,
crew's life.
well, you risk your life every day you get out of the bed, so I'm just saying because
No matter what you
I'm
do, there's a
looking
risk.
whatever you do, there's a risk. So
I'm looking forward to taking my 4,000 600 SCU of cargo and my whole sea in a convoy to Ruin Station and making bank. That's all I'm
Hmm.
saying.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
with all of that being said, I know we've had our predictions in the past of how we think CitizenCon's going to go, and with all this extra stuff happening, what is your guys' updated predictions with CitizenCon?
I bet I would be willing.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say it.
I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get episode one first. We're going to see Squadron 42. I think we're going to see it. Well, I think we're going to see gameplay, maybe early gameplay, but I think we're going to see gameplay. It would not surprise me at this point in time if we get. By the way, we're launching episode 1, like this week or like beginning of December, and here you can go to the store and now buy episode 1 right now,
Yeah.
or you can buy all of Squadron 42 at like $150 for all 3 episodes, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Like something like that. And then I think we're also going to see Pyro, and I think we're going to get that Pyro fleet notification. And yes, this is coming with server meshing. We're going to get an update with server meshing. I think this CitizenCon is going to be amazing. Like, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Don't.
Here,
We're gonna
you
get so
asked.
hurt.
You asked.
Yeah, we have to prepare ourselves to have the worst CitizenCon ever, because this is if we.
Well, here's the thing.
Hyping everything up that much, like, yeah, there's enough to back it up, right, with everything that we've been reading. But at the same time, this could just be another boring CitizenCon, and we have to prepare ourselves for that too, because we are hyping ourselves up pretty big.
For all the viewers of this video, Joe is right. Joe's absolutely right. They have a history of setting up expectations. They have a history of horrifically disappointing on those expectations or delaying them and putting them back. And I mean back years, right? But what is different this time, and for me, why I am allowing myself to do the stupid thing and get excited over this, right? The reason why I am allowing myself in this moment to do this stupid thing is everything that is exciting about what I think will happen at Squadron at CitizenCon is not coming from Chris Roberts, is not coming from CIG, is not coming from them. It is coming from what I am seeing on the roadmap. It is coming from what I'm seeing leaked. It is coming from what I'm seeing in their marketing material, including taking Squadron 42 off the store and the timing of it, right? From what I know about development in the past, like all the actions that they're taking, that they're playing down, that they're not talking about, and they're saying, not worried about that right now. And the leaks that are combining with that makes me feel like this is what's happening here. This is not CIG saying, or Chris Roberts saying, the Bandit Merchantman is going to be released next year, 5 years ago, right? This isn't that. This is not me trusting CIG in what they're saying. This is me reading the tea leaves, and I feel like that's more effective at predicting CIG than listening to CIG.
To go along with that, right? With so to when you think about Squadron 42 being taken off the store like that, and you think about kind of think about what the marketing team are probably thinking about, or the entire CIG team, when they are thinking about putting that or Squadron 42 back on the store like that, they can't just simply. There's a reason why it's not out right now, or that it's not back up right now, and it's because it would be the stupidest decision to just put it back up at a higher price point without showing anything whatsoever. Because nobody in their right mind would buy a $70 Squadron 42 package right now if it just got thrown up on the store, because there's absolutely no reason to. We don't know anything about it. Everything that we've seen about it in the past is old.
Yeah, at least 4 to 5 years old.
That would be the dumbest mistake for them, because it would just lead to more drama. Everybody would be all up in arms, and Spectrum would explode, Reddit would explode. There'd be so many videos about it, like, oh, this is another dumb mistake that CIG did.
Imagine the hit pieces.
And they know that. CIG knows it. So that means that they are very carefully thinking about, okay, how can we put the package back up on the store for $70 or more depending on what it is, because they're
They've
probably
got
going
to
to come
put
out with
something out.
4 or 5 different packages for it, including different things.
They've got to
So
put something out for us
it,
to see.
and the only time it makes sense is CitizenCon, because that's the type of ultimate hype, and when they can actually have the chance to show us what the hell it is and why we should be excited for it. And if they really want to make the most out of it, they would have to have a release date with it, you know. And with everything that we've seen and just read not too long ago, if it legitimately is next year, everybody would go pre-order that thing in a heartbeat, you know.
Yeah.
So, and like someone else said in the comments there, that Starfield will be, you know, it would calm down, you know, because CitizenCon's right after Starfield. So everybody would have played it and been like, okay, cool, it's awesome, you know, whatever. And then CitizenCon's going to roll around the corner and show us things that we don't have yet, and we're going to get excited about that and go back to Star Citizen.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that Squadron 42 would have a release date at CitizenCon for sometime soon, along with the packages being put back up.
I mean, here's the thing. I could definitely see, based on the leaks, it kind of suggests that we may get episode at or near CitizenCon.
That would be
But
fantastic. Yeah.
But I feel like, and that would be amazing. You know how, like, they would say, by the way, at CitizenCon, we're doing this. We're releasing it this December. Here's the pre-order for episode 1. Here's the pre-order for all 3 to 4 episodes, right? Right. Here's all this stuff. You can go get it now. They're no longer pledging. They're doing
Not
pre-orders.
even get it now. They could just release a demo, the first mission. Go play the first mission now. Go download it on whatever, you know. I don't know.
I hope they don't release it for download during CitizenCon, because I won't be able to play it. I'll be at CitizenCon.
No,
like
no,
your biggest fans will be at CitizenCon.
Zook, you really think?
You're the
they
biggest
won't have?
Fan? Seriously?
You think?
I didn't say.
You
I didn't
think
say I
that
was
they
the biggest
wouldn't
fan.
have demos available to play at CitizenCon? They would have computers there.
That would be cool.
Sit down and play it, because they're you don't not to mention they're also going to have Atmo Esports there doing their little contest thing. So they're already going to have computers there for that.
I would be perfectly fine. Like if they released the first level, that would be cool for the event. That would make it worth it to an nth degree. Hey, the entire first level, the entire first chapter is on the show floor right now.
And it wouldn't have to, and it can't be a bucky mess either. If we play the first chapter and it's just like the PU.
Yeah, it needs to be polished. No. That thing better be polished.
It better be polished. It better be polished.
That would be really cool, because I mean think about it like this, guys. What would that tell the industry? No, if this happens, if it comes out and it's relatively polished launch game, and it comes out end of this year, beginning of next year, what would that tell the industry after Baldur's Gate and this, with other games going down that same path? Making games for gamers work. That'd be so cool.
If they do that thing better work. It better be clean. Not to the point where it's like so squeaky clean that you can't do a damn thing with it. But I'm just saying, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. No ifs, ands, or buts.
They definitely know that. You know, they're probably
saying.
crunching to. If it is something that they're thinking about doing, they would probably definitely crunch the polish on it.
And I'm just going to say it again. It's got to be good.
Yeah, because if it's not, no one's going to be pre-ordering it. No one's going to buy it.
No.
You know, and then I cannot wait to hear to hear if there's any drama after CitizenCon. I can't wait to hear about it. So it'll be interesting to say the least on what's going to happen.
And we also wanted to say something about Starfield as well, just really quickly.
All right.
I think I'm not going to touch Starfield until after it's been out for a little bit.
Okay. I want to play it day one. So
I have literally no interest in Starfield.
I agree. I'm not so hyped for it. It's single player. Yeah, I do enjoy single player games, but I won't get it after the way certain things have been coming out with the serious issues and stuff like that. If I'm going to drop it, I'm going to wait for at least a month.
People that have played it have said that it's the most polished game that they've played from Bethesda.
Really?
They're saying
it. That's not saying much because Bethesda usually releases their games in an absolute trash broken state. And they've been doing that.
Well, they said there's little to no bugs. They said there's little to no. That I'm just saying what's come out already. So
yeah,
and these are people actually playing it.
If that is true, I will be so happy for you guys.
Well, look at it like this: there are people that have gotten preview copies, and they can't say anything about it until
these are the people. Right. These are the people saying this, though. Some of these people are coming out and saying it anyway.
Yeah, but there's an embargo. You can't stream it. You can't do anything.
No.
But from what I've heard, okay, they're saying it's awesome. So for those that are out there waiting for it, I've heard it's good.
Look, I hope it's good. I hope it's clean. I hope it's everything you guys want. For me personally, there's a couple of key things that absolutely break it for me. And this is not saying the game's bad. This is just literally Zook saying, I'm not interested in the game because of this reason. Cannot fly in atmosphere.
Nope.
There really won't.
Agreed.
Agreed. Right. You're not doing the flying from space to atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing the landing of your ship in atmosphere.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, your ship becomes a home base while it's landed onto a planet, and it becomes very walk around gamey by like Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, so on and so forth. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like for example, there was one guy that was leaking stuff about Starfield, and he was talking about got on board an NPC ship, and this NPC ship took off.
Yeah.
And then that ship was flying away, he fell out of it. Now we don't know why he fell. We don't know how he fell out because remember, he cannot talk about it very much, but he couldn't say why he fell out of it. Did he hop out of it? Did he whatever it fell out of it? My guess, based on how Bethesda's game engine works and based on how they've described the game in the past, is basically the ship flew out of the world that spawned for him, and the ship despawned, or he was forced out of it. He clipped out of it, and then he fell all the way to the ground because he was in the sky. I would be willing to bet I would be willing to bet there won't be much in the way of like 0G traversal. I bet you'll have to go from ship to ship with gravity. And I bet and the only time you'll be outside of a ship is when you're on a planet. I bet that's going to be a lot of fun. I bet the story is going to be really, really good. I bet if you like the idea of like a quick shoot 'em up and with health bars and bullet sponge enemies, I bet it's going to be really cool. I bet that the effects will be really, really amazing. I didn't come to Star Citizen for the bullet effects and health bars. I came to Star Citizen for the visceral feeling of being in space, of jumping out of my slot on a ship and going 0G, of feeling like anything I want to do, I can do it, and it be a sandbox where the world exists around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the same effect that Starfield's going for It's not that Starfield's bad for not going for it. That's just not the game they're making. And so so me personally, I'm just not that interested in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine. For anybody that just wants to try it, the cheapest way to do that is Game Pass and PC Game Pass.
For $1 and then cancel it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Just try it out or something, you know. That way you don't have to actually spend $60 on it.
Right.
So that's the bet. That's what I would do. So, I'm personally excited for it. I don't need all the things, you know, that I mean, I know we're all spoiled by Star Citizen and all that, by, you know, what it gives us and the dreams they sell. But I'm still excited. I know there's, you know, a lot that Starfield still gives you a lot that we haven't had in any other space game. You know,
well,
like it's going to give us things that we've wanted from like Mass Effect that we never got.
Yes.
And I think it's a step up in the right direction. And
for the space game genre.
For the exploration piece of it, I think the Starfield will probably give you better exploration than almost any other space game out there, including Elite Dangerous.
100%. And it might even be better than Star Citizen. You know?
Well, here's the thing. It is, because there's really no exploration in Star Citizen at this moment.
Yeah, for that aspect of the game, it's probably going to be one of the best exploration games for space is concerned out there right now.
Okay, let's be real and honest.
Here's the thing. Elite Dangerous, you can go around scanning ships and you can go onto the ground of ships, and it's going to be more visceral there, but there's not that much to see or actually discover in Star Citizen once you're on the ground, which might mean Starfield would be better in that regard. Right. I think Star Citizen's exploration will be better eventually, but clearly not for years to come.
Not for a while. And I don't expect it to be, you know? I go around Stanton and I enjoy what's there for what it is at this point in time. You know? That's it. And I deal with that. But like I said, I will wait another a month or so if I decide to get Starfield, and enjoy it for what that is. You know? That's how I see it.
I like how Harmer confused the star system of Stanton with Star Citizen.
Wait, what?
One Star Citizen. I mean,
Stanton. Oh, I see.
We already know. We already know that. You know, it is what it is. And for those that accept it, they accept it. For those that don't, they don't.
All right, so moving on a little bit here past Starfield and kind of going back into a little bit more of the leaks that was going on. So it also, some other things that leaked was some mentions of the new star map in Mobiglass version 2. And it looks like that you can now data mine information on both within 320. So that's pretty interesting. That means that I'm hoping that means, it doesn't mean, but I'm hoping that means that we're getting closer to it, because from the other rumor that's going around is that everything that's in most of the stuff as far as Squadron 42 features that they said that they wanted to get into the game by the end of the year, according to the Chris Roberts letter that we got, as far as like star map, Mobiglass, and then the traversal stuff and EVA stuff is still on track for the end of the year, along with server meshing. So that's...
I'll be right back. I got to do something for Miss Shadow.
That's pretty crazy. So with those two things kind of in mind, I'm really hoping that we do get the new star map and Mobiglass.
Well, what does that mean for... So 4.0, like if we're still on track with 4.0, that kind of makes sense that episode one's basically coming to complete polish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now a lot of that gameplay stuff can be transferred to the PU.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, very easily.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. And so that would make the next update after 3.20 a full-fledged update with a new star map, the new FPS scanning, with a whole bunch of other tools and abilities and just user interfaces that we've been waiting for years,
Mm-hmm.
basically becoming quasi all at once.
Yeah.
Now, again, not the whole game, obviously, but a lot of that would be coming. A lot of the quality of life adjustments, changes, would essentially be coming all at once, and that would really denote a difference between the 3.x series of patches to a 4.x series of patches.
Yeah.
Right? That makes a lot of sense now, because it would really be, okay, this is the final version of the PU game.
Yes.
Now we're making content for the PU game.
Yeah.
And then once most of the content is in the PU game, that's when it would go into beta.
Mm-hmm.
It would leave alpha. So after the years from now, after the 4.15, 4.20, whatever, then once the content is in, the version of the game, the back end, the engineering, the gameplay, the gunplay, I don't know, all that's in the game. Now they're working on content, getting star systems in there, getting careers in there, getting all the gameplay, in there, polishing, that kind of stuff. And then we'd go to beta, a couple years from now. That makes perfect sense. And all this lines up ridiculously well with that theory. And
Yeah.
I can't help it. I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. I'm being stupid.
That's why this CitizenCon is either going to be the best or the worst.
Yeah.
Because even
it's going to be
even if it's
there's
not the
no
worst,
middle ground here.
Even if it's not the worst, if it doesn't live up to our expectations, it'll still be the worst. Even if it's not that bad, it'll still be the worst. But yeah. Other than the star map and the Moby Glass,
oh Lord,
there's
I walked in on that.
Oh, you missed that. That's right.
No, I already know, because I am just going to say it, that the star map needs freaking work. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You know what? I have been hearing from other content creators, though, that in 3.20 they did fix a lot of issues with the star map. I don't know how true that is. Maybe somebody can confirm or deny that. I don't know, but that's just what I've been hearing. I don't know exactly what.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Can I get in 3.20? I took my 315p out, right? And I take off. All of a sudden, I see little arrows pooping out of my ship.
Oh yeah, my Ranish. If he's still in chat, Ranish had this happen to him on his 325. So on the 300 series right now, there's little orange circles with arrows inside of it, like a blue arrow or whatever, white arrow, that are literally coming out of the exhaust of the 300 series as if it was like a trail markers. Yeah.
It is awesome. Huh. It is so funny looking.
Interesting.
It is hilarious.
I'm flying and I said, wait a minute, what is that? I'm looking back at it. It's a 300. My 315p is pooping arrows. It was funny, man.
I'm seeing if it says anything in the known issues here. I don't think it will.
Oh
God,
funny. That was so funny.
Ranish went to make the report on the issue council, but I saw that one. He's like, "You got to see this." He shared his stream. I saw that. I was busting up, laughing pretty good.
It was crazy. Oh my god, that was so funny. But anyway,
that is funny. I'm gonna have to try that out.
Joe, you would laugh your ass off. Okay,
I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would.
I mean, it almost was like a debug tool, like some developer was putting in. Like he just didn't clean up a debug tool out of it when they released the patch to the PTU.
It was cool though. It was cool. Oh my god.
I don't see it in there, but okay. All right. Well, moving on. We have a bunch of new commodities that was leaked as well, and there's not really much to say on it, but there's some pretty interesting ones. So there's supposed to be
I think
ice.
before you get into that, I think a lot of this comes from the engineering and using of systems like resource management. I think a lot of this comes from behind that.
You think so?
I think so. Between the ice being refined into helium and oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
or hydrogen and oxygen, uh, that sounds like fuel and your ability to breathe.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even
Yeah,
see
go
those
ahead.
on there.
Go ahead.
So the only ones I've seen so far, as far as commodities, is ice, iron, tin, diamond, silicon, recite, and Stellaron, whatever those two are. But what were the ones that you were talking about? You said hydrogen.
Yeah, basically ice, essentially water, could be refined, collected and refined into hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh, is that what it was saying?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, because that's extremely important. I know it's been brought up a lot. That in a game like this, that you would think that would be a major part of the commodity system, being able to do that.
Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, definitely do that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I gave it a couple glances over, but I didn't go through and read the code or anything like that, or specifically what it was saying.
There was a lot in this. New commodities, highly susceptible to rust, found in large volume across most star systems. Iron, silicon,
Can
recite,
containers explode? What containers are you
Dilleron,
talking
Eventually,
about?
yes. Well, you're
tin
saying
ore.
eventually volatile containers can go up.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
Are we losing signal?
No,
I can hear you fine.
no, we're good.
Okay.
I'm just looking up where I found it or where I saw that earlier.
Um, I mean, all of these things with the commodities, it looks pretty cool. I mean,
The more the better.
yeah, exactly. At this point.
Well, it goes into the fact that, like, for example, if you can start refining this stuff, right? You can refine your own oxygen. You can refine your own hydrogen. This is how you refine these fuels and these resources,
Mm-hmm.
right? This would be required for exploration, right?
Yes.
It'll
Yes.
be required for systems like Pyro and the future economy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'm all good on that.
Okay.
I'm
Trying
just
to, trying to find it.
I'm just waiting for my SRV and my Spirit series now. That's what I'm hyped for.
Right. And for that, so the last thing I'll just bring up, because we're pretty much done. We've touched on, I think, everything we've wanted to talk about for this episode. But if anybody has any other questions, let us know. The 320 ships. So we talked about. So there's the C1, the A1, and the Storm that are going to come in a 320.x patch, and then there's two redacted vehicles or ships along with that. So, but yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts on anything?
A redacted ship.
It's clearly one of them is going to be the IAE LTI token.
Well, last year at CitCon we had to vote on a new mining ship, and it
We are
turned
going
out
to
to
see
be
an update.
RSI.
I am
I'm
100%
hoping.
think we're going to get an update on that ship, because they haven't said anything, and they usually, looking at the past Citizen Cons, whenever they have that kind of whenever they've had the those options available for us to vote, we don't hear anything about those ships until CitizenCon. So we haven't heard anything about the new mining ship.
The Orion, no, Everett. This is between the Orion and the Mole.
Right. So it's a large ship still, but not as large as the Orion.
The Orion's like a very large capital class mining ship, and the Mole's a medium sized mining ship.
Yeah. So we'll probably hear that, and also there's, to go along with that, there is another rumor going around that there is, CIG did say at some event this year that they do have a large to very large ship ready for us that'll be flight ready at CitizenCon, but who knows if that's true or not. But
so I found the piece. It was from the data mining from 3.20. It was item underscore commodities underscore raw underscore ice. You know what it is, raw ice. Item commodities raw ice description. Raw ice can be refined into hydrogen and oxygen.
Oh, cool.
We wish shaved.
So that's literally data mine text from 3.20 patch. So,
yeah, hopefully that comes to fruition at some point here.
Right. It would be cool if a new Origin ship came out unannounced, but we don't know. We don't know.
I think Origins had their day in the sun. They're working on RSI now.
If they put out a 600i variant that holds nothing but cargo, that would be slick. I would love to see that, but we don't know.
No, not in a million years.
That's what the 600i was originally built for, in lore. But I don't know. I would just like to see the rework of the 600i, to be honest.
Yeah, they're working on the rework. They're not going to do it. Like, we're reworking the ship already. They're not going to make another variant. They're reworking it.
Yeah, we can dream, right? You know.
Well, and that we know the rework has already been. We know the rework has already been put on pause too. So.
Yeah, as far as we know, I don't think they're actually legitimately started it yet, because the last thing that we heard was they didn't know when they were going to have the ability to start it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you got to think those teams are working on the Polaris and other things. So, just my thought.
Anything else before we go? Any final thoughts, guys?
They did have some more. I want to mention something else in the leaks.
Oh, okay.
Just very, very briefly. They introduced industrial sublocations. So how I'm viewing it is essentially like the cargo station.
Industrial
stuff
what?
And UGF, underground facilities, industrial sublocations.
Oh,
so kind of like the cargo bay is, or not,
yeah,
but more stuff either behind the cargo bay that you can go to and visit, or complex stuff. Now this is in reference to UGF, so underground facilities.
Yeah.
Right, but they have storage room, cargo shop, exterior cargo, elevator room. So entire room for elevators, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you'd be transferring it. The lobby, they have like a dead end place. So I guess something that's either under construction or stuff that isn't finished, it's just a dead end.
Right.
They also have security room and spawn closets. So they got a lot of UGF's code already in the 3.20 patch. Obviously, probably not going to be there, but it's pretty clear they're making good progress on the larger UGF system.
Right. Along with the cargo stuff you were talking about, they've teased us too in the past, not too long ago, ground refineries locations.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that too that we haven't gotten an update on either. So I think those are coming with Pyro though, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there's one ship when I first got into the game. A concept. The Expanse. Haven't heard a word.
Yeah. We'll see. You could probably expect there to be some concept ships and also some flight-ready ships and everything else in between for sale at CitizenCon.
We'll see.
All right. Anything else before we go?
I'm all good, man. Just everybody, keep your expectations low on CitizenCon, because if you get too hyped, and if it turns out to be bogus and a bummer, you're going to be upset.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen to me. Zook will get to see it firsthand, live action. There might be a lot of booze at CitizenCon this year. Who knows?
There may be, but I'm just gonna keep it low because I'm excited for it. This is my second, but I'll just be at a even keel. I'll be watching it remotely, so that's it. That's all I got, man.
I'm throwing caution to the wind. Screw you guys. I'm getting excited.
I want my heart broken. Destroy me, CIG. Destroy me completely.
Destroy me harder, CIG.
I love the abuse. I wouldn't be here still at 4 or 5 years later if I didn't love the abuse.
I agree with you, XD Gamer. I agree. Just happy to see the C1 almost here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, with all of that, I think that's going to be about it, everybody. So thank you guys for coming in. It has been a little bit over a month since last time me and Zook joined Shadow on one of these. So I think it's about time. It was a good time to come back with some actual stuff to talk about. So yeah. I think we're gonna Zook, are you gonna do this next Sunday?
Yeah, as far as I should be able to.
All right, so I think we're on track to do this again next Sunday. So we'll be back, and hopefully there'll be some more news and some more polish on 320 that we could talk about, and maybe we'll get a chance to actually get in there with master modes.
Well,
and
I will convince you to be excited.
Gamescon is going to be over with, so we should see an ISC.
Oh yeah, that's right. ISC is back this week or this upcoming week and live, so we'll see.
And they'll show nothing.
They won't. Yeah, it'll be about absolutely nothing again. So,
well, they're holding off everything for CitizenCon. So.
Yeah, no, I don't really blame them too much about that.
They're not going to release anything cool while Starfield's still in the music media, right? We're not going to see anything until after Starfield's already launched or released, and I bet we won't see anything of note or value, or until CitizenCon.
Same here, Whole Armor. Same here. But
all right. Well, I think that's it. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you next week. You guys take care.
Alrighty. Have a good one, everybody.